D3, day 3.
Our mic broke.
My feet hurt.
My legs hurt.
I'm Becky.
I'm Kim. Let's do this. Becky and I checked out the Atlas booth today with a whole bunch of games for the Wii U and the 3DS. What did we get to play, Becky?
Well, we got to play The Legend of Legacy. That's what it was. Ha. And we got to play Rodea the Sky Soldier for the Wii U. And Legend of Legacy is actually for the 3DS. We did still go and get a look at the new Stella Glow game for the 3DS as well. And we kind of got a little bit of a peek at Etrian Odyssey Untold 2, even though we didn't actually get a demo because we're currently reviewing for it. So, first, Legend of Legacy I got to play pretty extensively, I might add. And it was actually a lot of fun. It feels very much like a classic JRPG type game, and it's got a really good veteran cast development team working behind it. We have a composer that worked on Final Fantasy XIII's music, and we have a screenwriter, I believe, who worked on Chrono Trigger and Chrono Cross. So it feels very well developed. So, and they really decided to go much more with the exploration angle this time instead of something that's more story or character driven. Mm-hmm. So they actually pulled over the map, the exploration map kind of system from Etrian Odyssey, even though you don't actually have to draw it. It actually generates the more you explore by itself. Basically one of the things they added for it is that the more you explore, you can actually sell your maps to the NPCs in the game because they want to explore these areas too. And the more you've explored, the higher you can sell it for. But if you actually sell it early on, you may get help from NPCs while you're in the dungeon. So that's something they added. Yeah, I had a lot of fun with it.
And there's just gorgeous graphics.
Oh yeah. The way the map actually comes up on the screen, not just the map drawing screen, is it all appears as you're moving through it. So it really feels like you're actually discovering as you go. So, and it looks gorgeous. I just wanted to take the 3DS, just walk away. But I couldn't do that. So, and you got to play Rodea the Sky Soldier. Yep. How was that?
That was a bit different experience than Becky had. When I started playing it, I was told it's kind of like Sonic. It's made by the same people, and it's a sequel kind of. I am getting so distracted right now.
Sonic in the sky.
Yeah, Sonic in the sky. But honestly, when I played it, it wasn't like Sonic. It is Sonic. It's Sonic if he went to Japan and jumped into an anime as a robot.
Blonde-haired robot.
Instead of running and spinning around, you're jumping and spinning, and you're still trying to get these golden stars, which is like the coins. It's just so many similar things. But unfortunately, the learning curve, they did warn me, is really high, and I experienced that. It was hard to really get a good,
Get your feet off the ground.
Yeah, it's really hard to just kind of, pick it up and go. You really got to train with it and, learn how to really time it right to bounce off things and into the enemies and go to the stars. It's just really fast-paced, and it's just hard to get a hold of it in something like a demo.
Yeah.
But the story was interesting. It's about a robot who got shot off somehow, and he was a couple thousand or so years in the future. And when he wakes up, he has no idea what's going on. He barely has his memory. So he's trying to piece together what happened. So you're learning with him the whole history of this land as you try to take down the evil overlord. So that part's interesting. I just really couldn't get past the difficult gameplay I experienced.
Yeah. So, and then we got to talk to one of the translators working on Stella Glow. We obviously, they didn't have a demo, like I said, on the floor, but we did get to chit-chat with him a bit about what the game is about. And it's actually being worked on by the same team that does Luminous Arc, which is also Atlas. But one of the things they mentioned was that obviously sound and music play a big, big role in this game. So there's going to be a lot of really, really spectacular background music and, fully, voice music and stuff like that.
Yeah, totally unique songs.
They're not sure whether they're actually going to be able to localize all of the songs. I guess with vocals and stuff, but they said that the music obviously is going to be a wonderful, great aspect to the game and really, really bring it to life from the ground up kind of thing. So,
yeah, so it'll be fun to see where that one goes.
Yeah, and where the news comes out about that game as we hear more about it and as it goes further through localization and development.
So yeah.
And that's all we got to see at Atlas today, so.
Ba-da-ba-ba-ba. That was a good echo. Hey, Hey there, I'm with Neil, and he, with the rest of the staff, went to the Mix event last night. How was that?
It was really fun. They had a lot of Wii U and I guess mostly Wii U games. There were a few 3DS games, but the highlight was probably Fast Racing Neo, which is this F-Zero looking racing game made by Shinen. They're known for doing really nice, technical, beautiful looking games like Nano Assault Neo was a Wii U launch title from them. And yeah, that they only had like one race, but you could play it with a bunch of cars, and that was really cool.
Well, that's great because we haven't gotten an F-Zero game. So
I know. It's basically
someone's picking up.
It's the F-Zero game that everyone wishes existed. But that was really cool. As far as the other Wii U stuff, Runbow was there and all its 9-player mayhem.
Oh my gosh.
And that was a lot of fun. Outside of that, we got to see Zeo Drifter on Wii U, which that came out on 3DS. Meet 'em at Super Challenge on Wii U. SteamWorld Heist was there as well.
Oh, cool.
Rive from Two Tribes, the guys who made Tokitori 2. And it was a really neat event because we kind of got to hang out, talk to people. We saw our former, the former Nintendo indie maven, Dan Edelman, and then we also saw the current one, Damon Baker. So that was neat.
Cool. I mean, is there any way they're really spicing it up for E3 or like? I mean, I love how it's a real media event to really like get focus on indie games.
Yeah.
For you, what was like? How is this different from E3? What is this helping?
I think what I really like about it, and it's in the name of it because it's Mix Media Indie Exchange. And it's just a really good way to kind of bring the media to indie developers together because out on the show floor, it's really hectic. But there's also that little bit that Nintendo seemed to support this event as well. We actually got from our Nintendo PR reps, we got an email being like, you should check this out. There's some Wii U and 3DS indie games there, but none of those games wound up in Nintendo's booth. And that's the kind of thing is that to the bigger show floor, they still don't know about these indie games, whereas some of the ones that were there, like Typo Man was another one that was there. That's one of the indies at home that people can check out. But as far as people on the show floor, if you didn't know about the Mix, you don't know about Fast Racing Neo or Typo Man or Runbow. Like, that's kind of out of your realm.
Yeah, and I found that kind of odd because especially in the PlayStation booth, there's so many indie games, and they really have
and
huge
Microsoft
support.
As well.
Exactly, yeah. There's huge support because these are being made on their systems. It's helping them. So it was kind of odd to not have a presence at Nintendo.
Yeah.
So what was your favorite game?
I really like Runbow, and we got to play it with pretty much more or less the entire staff. I mean, you and Becky couldn't make it, but we had, I think, everybody that was there played it once. We were playing the developers too, and it was a really good time. That game's
awesome.
going to be very special, and the cool thing is that there's also going to be online multiplayer in that game, so even if you don't have the weird combination of controllers to have 9 people play, you can still play online, and it seems like...
So that's how we'll get in on it later.
Yeah, and that game should be out. It was kind of funny because it was originally summer, and now they're like, well, it's like summer as in before the solstice, so it's probably coming out in September.
That's awesome. Well, I'm really bummed I couldn't go, but thanks for telling me all about it.
It was cool.
And if you want to know more about indie games, we'll have some links below and you can check them out. Hey, we're going to answer our last set of questions for E3.
On day 3. All right, we have a question from Duck Hunt Dog who asks, it's crowded, hot and stinky, you're dehydrated, and the direct left many disappointed. But what about E3 made you happy?
I really enjoyed the Star Fox demo. I liked being in the chairs and pretending I was flying, and all the other effects they had around me were just fun. And I liked playing with Legos. That was really awesome.
I like free stuff, and I got free stuff, so that was great. And stuff I actually wanted, that was a plus. Star Fox pin, pretty darn cool. If you haven't seen it, look on my Twitter.
It's stated that Mario Tennis uses the A and B buttons, but I prefer to use the Y and B buttons instead. Will these new games allow players to reconfigure button controls? Super Smash Bros. Did it so well. And that question is from Jason.
And our answer is, unfortunately, not in the demo. We're not 100% sure if they're going to do it in the real game, but in the demo we had no control over control changes.
Pretty bare bones. Adolf?
Yep.
Adolf asks, when can you use Yoshi in Super Mario Maker? You use him only in New Mario and World levels, or even Mario 3 and Mario 1 levels. Can you pick different color Yoshis, like blue that can fly, yellow with quakes, red with fireballs, etc.?
Well, we know now that Yoshi is actually incompatible with Super Mario 3, or with Mario Brothers 3 and Mario Brothers 1 levels. if you put a Yoshi egg in that level, in order to use Yoshi, you're not actually going to get a Yoshi. You're going to get a Goomba with the Kuribo shoes, I believe. And in the demo right now, you can't actually change Yoshi's color, but there's a lot of tools we had no access to, like rows and rows and rows of blank spaces. So there may be something later where you can actually do different colored Yoshis. So. Alright, and we have Nintendo Guy asks, regular DK and Bowser amiibos don't work with Skylanders? Do those crossover figurines have 2 NFC chips? Why? Talking about the science of NFC. What's stopping Skylanders from reading amiibos NFC? Desire to sell extra figures?
Well, it's because they're using totally different kind of codings for it. There's a chip that just works for Skylanders, and there's a chip that just works for Amiibo. So to make them actually read the correct codes, they had to put both chips into the crossover figures, and you can click to it so that the code reader will pick up the correct one that is in its own language.
Yeah.
And we have Jason Mavia asks, isn't Natsumi's new Harvest Moon Seeds of Memories there at E3? How is it?
It is at E3. I played it today. Natsume has actually decided to go with a really classic look for the new game instead of their terraformer direction that they were going. It looks interesting, and I mean, I think it honestly looks a little bit better, and it feels more Harvest Moon because they've decided to go with like the central town aspect and this overarching story that actually accompanies your farm, as opposed to really focusing on how much you can alter the land. But it's kind of not 100. The jury's still out on whether or not it's actually going to work for them, or whether it's just going to feel like Story of Seasons, but not as good.
And they don't have the Wii U version finished yet, and they said they're really going to focus on the abilities that the gamepad can do. So we're going to see what's going to happen later.
All right, and then we have R.A. Bickle asks, "Was this the worst E3 yet?
No.
Is gaming dead?"
I mean, no.
No. And why should I go on?
Think of your friends.
Think of your family.
Think of the children.
The children.
Well, that's been our Q&A.
That's all the questions we got for today.
Thanks for sending them in.
And thanks for watching our show all E3.
See you next year.
Yeah.